All right, let's get right into it. Today we're talking about a car that's a massive deal for one of the biggest names in the game, the all-new, all-electric 2026 Porsche Macan.
You know, Porsche has spent decades building this incredible reputation, and it all comes down to one thing: how their cars feel to drive. So the million-dollar question is, can they capture that same magic, that same soul, in an electric SUV? That's exactly what we're going to figure out today. Okay, so the original gas-powered Macan, it was a smash hit for Porsche, a huge seller. So for them to take this icon and make the second generation fully electric, well, that's a seriously bold move. It's not just a new car. It's basically Porsche telling us this is where we're headed.
So what's the secret sauce here? Well, it all starts with the tech underneath. It's built on a brand new platform called the Premium Platform Electric, or PPE for short. Just think of it as the super advanced skeleton for their high-performance EVs. And the really big deal about it is this 800-volt architecture. That little detail is the key to unlocking some crazy performance and, as we're about to see, some seriously fast charging.
So here's how we're going to tackle this. First, a quick look at how they've recharged this icon. Then we'll jump into our scorecard, looking at the driving experience, how it works as a daily driver, and of course, the luxury and tech. And at the end, we'll wrap it all up with a final verdict.
All right, let's kick things off with the big one. For any car with a Porsche badge on the front, this is what it all comes down to: the driving experience. And right off the bat, this is where the Macan EV just shines. Porsche didn't just make an electric SUV. They engineered something that feels like a sports car. We're talking about that instant punch from powerful dual motors, steering that's just razor sharp and precise, and handling that honestly feels like it defies the laws of physics for a vehicle this size.
And if you want some numbers to back that up, just look at the GTS model. When you hit launch control, it unleashes a staggering 563 horsepower. I mean, that is pure sports car territory, no question about it.
And that really gets to the heart of it, doesn't it? See, Porsche didn't just slap a big battery and some electric motors into an SUV and call it a day. They've truly engineered an experience. This car is built for drivers who crave that connection to the road, people who want power and precision, not just another EV that's fast in a straight line. Okay, so it drives like a dream. But let's get real for a second. How is it to live with every single day? That brings us to our next scorecard category: everyday usability. Performance is great, but this thing has to work for the daily grind, right? Now, for any EV, the first question is always range. And the Macan, well, it delivers. You're looking at around 300 miles on a full charge, which is really competitive for this class of vehicle. That's plenty for your daily commute, running errands, and it means road trips are definitely on the table without you having to stress out and plan every single stop.
And remember that 800-volt architecture we talked about? This is where it becomes a total game changer for day-to-day life. If you pull up to a powerful DC fast charger, you can juice up from a low battery to about 80% in, get this, around 22 minutes. That's basically the time it takes to grab a coffee. It completely changes the road trip equation and really helps kill that range anxiety.
But, and there's always a but, isn't there? Here's the trade-off you're making. On one hand, it's absolutely ready for a road trip with that range and super fast charging. But on the other hand, all that focus on a sleek, sporty design means it's not the biggest SUV out there. The back seat and the cargo area are a bit tight, especially when you compare it to some of its competitors. So you're getting that incredible performance, but you do give up a little bit of that utility in sport utility vehicle. All right, let's step inside the car for our third scorecard item: luxury and tech. We're going to look at the overall feel of the cabin versus the actual features you get to play with.
And as you'd probably guess with Porsche, the good stuff is really good. The materials inside feel fantastic, everything is put together with rock-solid quality, and the whole cockpit just feels wrapped around the driver. But it's more than that, right? You're also getting that brand prestige, which actually has a real-world benefit. These cars tend to hold their value incredibly well.
Now, on the flip side, let's talk tech. It's fine. It's perfectly functional, but it does feel a little on the conservative side. The infotainment system, for example, isn't quite as slick or intuitive as what some of the competition is doing. Look, it gets the job done, but it's not going to blow you away with innovation or redefine the game.
Okay, so it's time to put it all together. We've looked at the incredible driving feel, the daily usability, and the interior. Let's bring it all home for the final verdict.
But before we do that, we have to talk about the elephant in the room, the price. Because you have to look at everything we've discussed through this lens. The Macan EV starts around $80,000, which is already premium. But let's be honest, with the options most people are going to want, you're looking at a price tag that easily blows past 100 grand. So, the big question, is this the right car for you? Let's make it simple. This is absolutely your car if what you want more than anything is a sports car that just happens to be shaped like an SUV. It's for you if you value that Porsche name and the quality that comes with it, and if you need an EV that can handle long trips without the hassle. On the other hand, you might want to look elsewhere if you need to haul lots of people or stuff all the time, if you're looking for the best bang for your buck, or if you absolutely need to have the flashiest, most cutting-edge tech on the market.
And really, that brings us to the final, ultimate question. In today's world, a lot of electric cars are ridiculously fast. Straight-line speed is becoming common, but Porsche is making a bet. They're betting that you'll pay a premium not just for speed, but for the feel, for the way it connects with you through the steering wheel. So in a sea of high-performance EVs, is that special Porsche character, that feeling you get when you're driving it, is that worth the premium? Ultimately, that's the question you have to answer.